Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. It's my 2007 GT500. We're going to go ahead and kick off this next little part of the maintenance series. We just installed cams in the car while I was under there. Noticed a couple things here and there that need to get done. One of them is the transmission output shaft seal is leaking pretty good. I don't know how long it's been leaking for. I think I recall seeing a drip or two down there maybe a year ago. So my bad, I should not have put it off that long. We're gonna go ahead and rectify that now. So this is what the seal looks like, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to get out because we gotta get the exhaust out of the way, and we gotta get the drive shaft out of the way. So as it sits right now, I got it up on blocks in the front, jack stands in the rear. We're gonna be messing with the axle while the car is in the air later. That's gonna be another video, the one after this. So that's why I got it set up this particular way. You can do it however you wanna do it. So first thing we got to go ahead and do is get underneath the car, and I'll show you what's going on. All right, so welcome underneath the car. Pretty much what we're doing. So I don't know if you can tell, but there is a decent amount of transmission fluid there's a decent amount of transmission fluid just kind of hanging out here. So that's not good. Looking up at our car, just looking up under here, you can see where it's been dripping down at, and yeah, it looks pretty nasty. So pretty much what we got to do is get this drive shaft out of the way, and unfortunately that's not super easy because there's this external piece sticking out. So we got to unbolt the drive shaft on this side, and then we got to unbolt it over on the diff side. So obviously there's a decent bit in the way. We got to remove the exhaust pipes. Basically they got to come out of the way, at least the X pipe for sure. Probably going to leave these two front halves if I can, although actually I can already guarantee they're not going to need to come out, but they're definitely going to need to get loosened up at least. That's how we're going to get the X pipe out. So let's go ahead and start with that. You can leave the over axles in. I'm probably going to take off my mufflers because those are actually going away. You won't have to do that, but I may do that. So let's go ahead and start off with getting the exhaust out of the way. I also have Cook's long tubes. If you don't have Cook's long tubes, you have something else, it might be a little different process for you. All right, so the exhaust is out. I'm gonna leave the over axle pipes in there. I don't even know if you can get them out just because they curve completely over. I think the angle's too sharp without being on a lift. So they're gonna stay there. Next thing we gotta do, go ahead and get that guy off. I have it jacked up, and gotta make sure these wheels are basically able to move freely as they would. That way, and car's in neutral, obviously. That way we can rotate the drive shaft and get all the drive shaft bolts. So let's go ahead and hop underneath and get to those next. All right, so underneath the car now, the exhaust out of the way. You can clearly see the drive shaft right here. And these are our bolts that we got to get out. I thought they were going to be a 10, but that's definitely bigger than 10 millimeters. So we got to find out what size they are, and we're going to pop these 4 out next. I also got a marker. We're going to go ahead and just mark somewhat generically in here so we can tell where this goes back. It is an aftermarket drive shaft, so it's obviously been swapped out before. So that being said, it doesn't necessarily mean that going back in the exact position is super important, but we're going to do it anyway. It's good practice. All right, grab a Sharpie, and probably want to use a paint marker or something, but this will work for what I'm doing, and that should be fine. And I don't know if this is going to rotate. It's all one piece, but just in case this comes separate, we go ahead and mark here. And I get it, black's hard to see, but at least you have some kind of a reference point. So we go ahead and figure out what size bolts you got real quick, and then we'll get those out. All right, so they're a 12 millimeter star side socket. So obviously it's not going to be very helpful to get them loose like this. I'm going to break these two loose, go ahead and pop the e-brake on, and e-brake on, get these two loose, and then get them out, rotate it over, same thing on the other side. All right, drive shaft is out. You may have noticed that I ratcheted my wrench right into the freaking corner right here. I wasn't paying attention, so I'd use the hand wrench to get all the other ones out, but it is what it is. So drive shaft's out, and so now we can go ahead and get to our output shaft, I guess flange. I don't really know what the proper word is, but yeah. So my theory as to how we're gonna get this out, because obviously you can't use the e-brake anymore to get tension. Go ahead and drop this over into 6th, highest gear ratio. Hopefully I won't be able to turn the motor over when we try and do this, and we'll be able to get a breaker bar on that thing and see what happens. So we got to go ahead and do next. All right, so went ahead and grabbed a axle nut set that I got, and 32 seems to fit, so it might be a 31. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there, but not too much, not enough that's going to cause a problem. So got that on there. I'm going to grab a breaker bar, and then we're going to go have some fun trying to get this thing off. I've heard it's torqued down pretty dang good. All right, so what I'm doing is I put in 2 of the bolts back in and went ahead and stuck my breaker bar right there. So actually was not held on with that much torque, and then I applied a little bit of force. And now my bolt seems to be coming out. So, whoop. Yeah, that was actually not too bad. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse, so go ahead and get this bolt out of here, and then I think the next step is probably trying to figure out how to get this flange to come out all together. I think the 3-jaw puller can do it, but honestly I don't quite know for sure yet. So I'm gonna keep on working real quick and we'll see what we come up with. All right, so I started looking at the manual a little bit just to see how the heck to actually pull this out. This will be linked below in the video down below. Yeah, so special tool 307523 is the part number. It comes out with OTC, and it looks like this. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to order this guy. It's not too bad, 30 bucks. But it is what it is, so I don't think there's a way to do it without this tool. I was looking at pulling on the back flange piece, and that's actually, it actually moves. It's not solid, so I'm not sure what it's holding that on, whether it's rubber or what. Probably shouldn't put a bunch of, torque on that trying to pull it off. So I'm gonna go and order this tool, and we'll meet back up once it shows up. So right here, this is the tool we needed. This is really the only way, my understanding, to pull off that rear transmission output shaft, the flange on it. You can use 3 of the existing bolts, bolt it in there, and this should pop off that shaft. So it's about 50 bucks on eBay. Probably never gonna need it again. If you guys need one, go ahead and hit me up if I still have it, and I can ship it out to you for the same price I got it for. It's like 50 bucks. Other than that, we're doing a transmission fluid change as well. Synthetic ATF Mobile 1. Talking to the tuner and a couple other people, they say Mobile 1's like one of the best ones you can use for the Tremec 36 or TR6060, and well, that's what we're gonna go ahead and use. So they used to have it, looking at the older pictures, it used to say advanced fully synthetic, same as this does, except it would have Mercon 4 or Mercon 5 written on the side, or Dexron 5 Mercon or something like that. Now it just says multi-vehicle formula. Same stuff though. Went ahead and looked up the spec sheet just to make sure. So we're gonna do this. Also, you need a set of 373s. They are no good to me at all. If you want them, you can pay for shipping, and that's it, and they're all yours. I don't know why you'd want them, but if you want them, you can have them. And then we got our gear oil. So first things first, I'm gonna start out doing the gear oil refill, and then we're gonna swap out our seal. I'll do the refill on camera, and I'll pick up with you guys once we put this guy on and see how we can pull off everything. So that's the next step in the old process of getting everything buttoned up on the car. Good to go. Also, our new belts came in, so that's awesome. And yeah, so we got some new belts on here. And then next video, got some Corsa Sports that came in the mail, so we'll be putting those on and seeing how she sounds. So good to go. All right, so back underneath the car finally. It's literally been days since I did this. Started talking about this process, but here's our puller, as I was saying, and this piece is kind of like, it moves. I don't know if it's some kind of an output shaft balancer or what, but beyond me. Anyway, this guy just goes over top, and we put in our bolts, put the car back in neutral so I can spin this over freely as needed. And I'm gonna get them all started by hand and then go ahead and actually put this on. But yep, so let me go ahead and speed through this real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick back up once we get this thing off. All right, so there's our problem seal right here. So all this stuff's been leaking out of this guy, and let's go ahead and change that real quick. So I'm gonna use a seal puller, nothing too wild, just a generic little claw tool like this, and we'll see if we can't get this thing out and pop our new one in. Back to time lapse, you guys go. All right, well, this is not the right seal. I was looking at it, I was like, first I was trying to get it in, then I was looking closer, and I'm like, this is a thicker style seal than this one. I mean, comparing the two parts, like, not even close. And then overall diameter wise, this one is for sure bigger. So I was like, what the heck? So I went back on Rock Auto where I ordered this from, and although it's on the right section, it says T50D transmission. So no clue what the heck that is, but that is not TR6060. And then just to further, I was like, yeah, maybe I'm just being a little turd and it's not fitting. There's no way that's gonna fit over the shaft seal. That should be able to slide in relatively easily. And yeah, no way. So I need to figure out what the actual proper seal is, which is what this guy is, and order that. And that's been pretty much this whole job. Every time I go and do something, I go to order new parts. So it is what it is. I'm gonna go order new parts and we'll pick back up once it shows up and I can get the new one installed. If I can get it locally, sick. If not, then, well, it is what it is. Back, this guy finally came in. This is our new transmission output shaft seal. So let's head under the car and install that. Old one, new one, they're identical. If you look really, really hard, you can see the part number on here. That's basically what I looked at. And yeah, but there you have it. So let's go and get it in the car, get this thing installed. Alrighty, so 100 foot-pounds was the torque. This thing will time out in a few minutes and should be good. So that's together now, and I got that torque spec off of a forum because I did not find it in the shop manual anywhere. Kind of weird, but whatever. If anyone needs this, probably won't need this tool ever again, so it's for sale, 50 bucks. Probably post it up on eBay, that's where I bought it from. That's where it's probably gonna go back to. So yeah, seal's done. Next up, well, I figure I'm already in this deep, might as well just knock out a transmission fluid change. I did one when I first got the car about 3.5 years ago or so, and I went ahead and was AMSOIL then. However, according to the tuner, a lot of Chief 500 folks, everybody else, best stuff to use in the TR6060, one of the few vetted ones from Tremec themselves, is Mobil 1 synthetic ATF. So you have to make sure it meets, I believe it's Mercon 5, if I'm not mistaken. But this one does meet it. I went ahead and looked at the description. Let's see where we're at right here. Yeah, Ford Mercon, Dexron 3, 2 type. There we go, Mercon 5 right up here. So, yep, should be good to go there. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain it out, do that time lapse real quick, and put in the new stuff. And shoot, we're getting closer, guys, we're getting closer. All right, so now that's done finally. Transmission refilled, so we're good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna pop in our over axle shaft, which I'm gonna do off camera real quick, just kind of curves right on in. Drive shaft back in, wheels back on, and pretty much be good for the most part. I'm gonna do the exhaust last. Car's pretty much back together for the most part. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it, like I said, for this video. And next one we'll be going ahead and getting it back off, turning on our, I'll start the car up and see how she sounds, of course, sports. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.